job, health care, a good education, a home to call our own. We all deserve FDR's dream. And it's a crime that we don't have it. And we never will, as long as we have a system that enriches the few at the expense of the many. Capitalism is an evil, and you cannot regulate evil. You have to eliminate it and replace it with something that is good for all people. And that something is called democracy.
Crimes have been committed in this building. I am here to make a citizen's arrest. Please come down and step away from the building. Do not be afraid. Federal prison is a nice place.
You know, I can't really do this anymore. Unless those of you who are watching this in the theater want to join me.
We are the 99%. It's the rallying cry of the Occupy Wall Street protesters. 9% versus 1%? The richest 1% of the U.S. population own a third of U.S. net worth. But an even smaller group, the 0.01% of the population, are at a record high. In fact, is it really 99.99%? Versus 0.01%. So where do you fit?
To be a total disaster with the collapse of our capitalistic system as we know it today, wars, massive government debt default, and the impoverishment of large segments of Western society.
Any fool can get this country into trouble. It takes a wise man to get it out.
Stay here no matter months, years, weeks, days. It doesn't matter. We're gonna be here till we get what we want as people.
We'll keep an eye on this demonstration, which so far.
Millions of young people grow up in the sunlight of opportunity. But that is another America. And this other America has a daily ugliness about it that transforms the buoyancy of hope into the fatigue of despair.
In October of 2011, the citizens of Philadelphia formed Tent City. They camped out on the steps of City Hall in order to protest the human and financial indifference plaguing the masses in our country. This was the protest against the unfair school loans, inequality of workers' compensation, the funding of prisons over schools, and most importantly, basic human rights.
I don't think it's an unreasonable expectation to have an education, to have a job, to have a house.
Not our people living like pigs. Good, rich land laying down. Or maybe one guy with 1 million acres and 100,000 farmers starting. And I've been hungry. All our folks got together and yelled.
Oh, Thomas, dragged out and cut you down just like this undertaking.
What do you stand for on your street? The question was asked to our parents, not to ask what our country can do for us, but what we can do for our country. That was then, this is now. We not only have to ask our country what it can do for us, we have to sleep on the doorsteps of City Hall.
There's a lot of injustice going on in the United States right now. and I think we need to change. I think that what needs to happen is we need to gather up a little more, and I think that this movement is really important to everybody, because as you see, there's a lot of homeless people walking around, not just in this state, but in all the states, and it's really hard for a lot of people to get jobs. It's really hard for people to eat. I mean, there's a lot of suffering going around, and somebody needs to care, somebody needs to worry about that. So that's why I personally am traveling from Occupy to Occupy, from city to city, to spread the word and help as much as possible.
What makes you want to put your life on this movement?
What makes me put my life in this movement? Because I'm from Hartford. I'm originally from Hartford, and where I'm from, the homeless people, they turn into drug addicts, and they start getting psychological problems from the issues that they get from being on the street and homeless. And I see what happens. I had a lot of friends die from that stuff, from drugs and from different various situations, from being homeless and from not being able to get a job. And I've seen people hustle to try to get a job and they can't get it. So that's why I'm personally involved in it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it.
Right now, I'm mad as all hell, man.
No! The time will come when that sheet will be ripped off. If the federal government doesn't take it off, we'll take it off.
It has come purely upon the democratic and peaceful process that we've instituted, in combination with a very interesting perspective coming from the City Hall. I think they're learning from what happened in New York and Boston, that mass support and only more people are going to come in light of a human rights abuse display by the police. So they're looking to resolve things as amiably as we allow it to happen. We don't obviously have people, gangling around the streets trying to block up traffic and causing a ruckus. We have a very organized system where people are going back and forth, showing support on the streets. We have people, tenting peaceably here and being respectful of the land and the people that were here before us. So as long as we continue in this direction and we address any abuses of the space at large that we have until the 15th deadline, I think the city will be really willing and able to give us the extended deadline of indefinite occupation for somewhere if they do have to do construction. Now, we're not trying to jam up jobs, but we do want our point to be heard that we're here occupying in solidarity as a movement of people, not in the interest of what's best for City Hall or corporations. We want to get the point across, and as long as there's a democratic hand, or tongue-in-cheek, on my part, I want to say that if we could stay here longer and jam up the process just to get things, established, that we really are not a mob mentality. We can coalesce on a common direction, even maybe protest building this for a little bit until we get our system in place with GAs, with ascertained spots to move to, and the help that we need to get there. If we can have a collaboration between City Hall on something like that, where we can peaceably go somewhere new that everybody agrees upon, that's gold. That's really good news.
It's already happening. It's happening in 100 cities across the country. You don't think the politicians and the lobbyists and everybody else, people in these financial buildings, aren't paying attention to this?
So for me, I think that the end result of this is getting that bridge between the poor and the rich, getting more things in place that, when politicians make decisions, we can see it on an everyday level as normal people, like benefits at work. Like, for instance, the unliterate program is great. I really have a lot of respect for the city of Philadelphia. They're doing wonderful progressive things, and I have no problem with the green system that they're putting into place. If anything, we just need time to do and run our process to find a new place to not, be a pain in their butts. So, I think if we made a good pitch on reappropriating funds or changing something about what we're doing here, something maybe like public restrooms, that's been a major issue. Now, this is something that you may edit out or not. Okay, if you don't, you might really like this. I met a gentleman, Gary, who's been homeless here for a number of months. Gary was very, very loud and animated, kind of, big guy, and he was talking about alligators for no reason out of clear blue sky. So I, having been in the Everglades for a while, hit home, just try to connect with this man and see what he had to offer. He showed me a portrait out front of the, not immediately in front of the art district area that we have set up here in Tent City, but a little bit out towards the south. And these are where, the congregation of truly, homeless, destitute people have been. I saw a woman wake up out of her sleep, lean over a concrete block that she was sleeping on, take a shit, wipe with her hand, and douse it with bleach. That's because we don't have public access toilets here. We don't have toilets in place where we can run through a septic system. We have porta potties now because there are literally hundreds of people here. But if we were more focused on people at large that are in like public areas and accommodating people for the basic needs that we have, then we would have a much more sanitary environment in the city. Maybe the subways wouldn't smell like piss all the time here. And you know, while that's kind of the allure of Philadelphia, people have been trying to change that for years. We really do want to have a clean and you know, good environment all throughout our city right here. And I don't think anybody in the subway or homeless wants to pee somewhere that is public. I think that they would like to have the luxury of a restroom to wash up or whatever else. You know, basic human rights is what we do.
But what makes me want to get involved is that it's basically the way things are now need to change, man. They need to change. We need to let the government know that we want something different than what they're giving us. And the only way we're gonna do it is we're united, you know? So like, speak loudly, you know? Let them know. No violence, that sort of thing. Like, I believe that all of this is the will of the people, man. It's going on all over the country. It's going on in other countries.
See, it's got a life of its own right now at this point.
Yeah.
You know, it's just breathing by itself. You know, when I originally started this journey, I didn't really know much about it. But as I moved from city to city and get everybody's viewpoints on it, I realized that this thing really does have like a life of its own, and that it's not going to stop until things get different, until things change. So I feel the energy around this place. You know what I'm saying? And it's going around all around the United States, the world, everywhere. It's time for change. It's time for uniting people. That's how I really feel about it.
And these people here, all these people that you're gonna see on this on the news, all them, we're not hippies. We're not hippies. You know, I quit my job to go and start traveling and figure shit out. And all I gotta say is, these are nice people. These are good people. They're hardworking. They share what they got, you know, with us. Somebody gave me a blanket the other night for the night. You know, like, here it's cold. Like, you know, I'm sleeping on the stone steps over here.
Well, let me ask you the same question then. What makes you want to put your life on this movement? Like, what makes you feel so strongly that you got to put your life on it?
It's the only way you're ever going to accomplish anything, is if you stand up for what you believe in. Never back down, you know? Just do your things. Do your thing, you know? Stand up for what you believe in, you'll never be wrong.
What do you think is the great wrong that everybody in Occupy Philly and Occupy New York and across the country is fighting?
The fact that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Simply put, like, I had to fight for my job that I quit to come out here, you know? And I know other people don't have a job, you know? And I've never been homeless. I've never, you know, never done this before, you know, never bounced from spot to spot, none of that. So I want to know what it's like. I want to feel what these other people are feeling. You know, I haven't had a shower in days. I feel grimy. I just want one. I want a warm place to sleep. I want a hot meal. But you know what? So many other people don't have that. You know? Why should I be any different? They're people too.
There is no future without a family. And as we watch this little girl play in her innocence, we have to wonder, what type of world are we really creating for our future? Is this beyond fair? What's up, good brother? What made you join Occupy Philly?
Basically, you know what I mean, a lot of people here for different reasons. Me especially, you know what I mean? It might sound funny, but hey, I'm here for to legalize weed, and that's my thing, you know what I mean, since day one. The first day I was in New York, and the second day I used to flee to Philly. So I've been here like almost 2 weeks now, and I mean, there's people here with a lot of problems. Some people want to see change. They got a lot of veterans out here in the streets, the homeless, and the government is not helping them. And some people out here are jobless, they ain't got no jobs and stuff like that. And Social Security, disabled, and it's just a lot of stuff, man. I mean, people want to see change, so that's the main reason. Like I said, I'm out here I'm not fighting the government, but I want them to legalize weed, and so people will be able to smoke. Even they could tax it if they want, but at least they should be able to legalize this because it's natural. You know what I mean? It's better. It might sound stupid, but they say 2 guys could get married, 2 women could get married, and why the heck in the world they ain't trying to legalize weed? I think to myself, it don't make no sense. It's not right, you know what I mean? And the government should do something about it, you know what I mean? And I've been here ever since, been doing my thing. I had a tag that said, "Oh, I'll show you the jacket. You can shoot me."
So this is your home here. Okay.
I did.
Okay.
In the Marine Corps. This is my jacket from the Marine Corps right here. You see my little badge right here. And we turn it back. On here, this is freedom to smoke more weed. You know what I mean? So that's why I reckon.
You turn around one more time for me?
Marine Corps.
So you're like the new soldier then, in the fight for ideas.
Yup.
Wow.
Alright, that's
deep.
Yeah.
That's
we
deep.
out here, we're not leaving. They want us to leave, but we ain't gonna leave. They're gonna give us what we want before we leave from here. And we're gonna be here, stay here in a matter of months, years, weeks, days. It doesn't matter. We're gonna be here till we get what we want as people. You know what I mean? It's like the people against the government. So basically that's what that, bro. You see, I'm just gonna clean it up right now.
Yeah, I see that. I like that. Okay, my man.
The Occupy Philly movement encompasses so many different issues, from over taxation, student college loan debt, social sanitation efforts, and many other issues.
What you can see here is there are a lot of quotations from different people. So Occupy Philly gives a lot of people the opportunity to express their grievances or their differences and ideas that affect the masses. Deeper than just wealth or just human rights, or even just animal rights. It's really about the rights of what we call justice. This country supposedly stands for. These people are fighting to preserve that, or really give a true definition.
I pray that God will bless you in everything that you do. I pray that you will grow intellectually so that you can understand the problems of the world and where you fit into in that world picture. And I pray that all the fear that has ever been in your heart will be taken out.
This film proves that there are more to this movement than just people sleeping outside with protest signs, or homeless people just roaming around the streets looking to use unsanitary waste. Instead, it's about citizens, the real understanding of the value of human life, that we each have a responsibility to hold in helping our society achieve that focus. The Occupy Philly movement was intellectually enlightening as well, following the educational efforts from past leaders such as King, Gandhi, Malcolm. There was a library created in the middle of Tent City to educate the people, just as these past leaders always had in their protest movements. Education, not just education, but free education, so that the people can learn.
An organization called DeBASI. It's Delaware Valley Association for the Education of Young Children, and we're here representing preschool teachers, and we're here to let them know about the budget cuts that have affected young children. And so we felt as though we should come down and let people know that we need to vote in legislators to take the education of young children very seriously.
Preschool teacher, and my concern is that the people that we send to Washington are not listening to us. They're not listening to the people. It's like they go down there, they're millionaires, and they're just doing what they want to do. They're not doing anything for the people that sent them.
I mean, like when kids are really little, have you ever noticed how young kids are always trying to talk to their parents? And a lot of times parents are like, you know, don't bother me, don't bother me. Well, if you don't set those patterns early, then you can't go to your kid when they're 13 or 14 years old and say, tell me what's going on in your life, because as far as they're concerned, you're not interested. So if we could help parents understand that and get more involved in their kids' lives early, I think it would head off a lot of the problems.
I spent 3 days in Tent City, which was directly where the Occupy movement protesters occupied City Hall, demanding human and political rights. These are the various interviews of occupants who tell their individual stories, views, and struggles, demonstrating to the municipal, state, and national powers the importance of human rights and its effects on society as a whole.
Last night, I heard people yell, out cars, and walking through, get a job. Many people, yell back. I have one. And I still am in debt. Or why don't you stop? And have a real conversation. Last night, I had a dream. That was really scary. I went away with a bunch of people. To go to the beach. And when I came back, my lawn was littered. I don't have a lawn. With dismembered bodies. Later in the dream, a person drove by. And yelled, get a job. Why are you here? And other mean things. I yelled back. Ranting. And they drove off. Immediately, my heart swelled. And I realized I forgot to say I love you. So I ran to catch this car. When I got there, there was a new person. And I said, I love you. And I need to know what you have to say. And I would really like it if you would come and tell me. Because I am sad that for the dismembered bodies. On my lawn. On my lawn. Thank you. Thank you.
Maybe find out what it is that's wrong. And see if there ain't something that can be done about it. I thought it all out clear. I can't. I don't know enough.
I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate or despise one another. This world has room for everyone. The good earth is rich and can provide for everyone the way of life to be free and beautiful. But we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much, but feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness, gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost.
The Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights are the principles in which we believe, and that these documents, if put into practice, represent the essence of mankind's hopes and good intentions. Peaceful people. We're loving people. We love everybody who loves us. Victims of democracy. Nothing but disguised hypocrisy. And I see America through the eyes of a victim.
In New York, the crowd cheered as the NYPD arrested a man who was once on their side. Retired Philadelphia Police Captain Ray Lewis joined the Occupy Wall Street protesters dressed in his old uniform. He was taken into custody today along with nearly 200 others, and similar scenes in New York, LA, and Portland as members of the Occupy movement filled the streets.
Everybody from Philadelphia, 76ers, stomp your feet.
The occupants are the pioneers of the Millennium Protest Movement, and based on historical influence, we see the common threads of education, awareness, strength, and strong speech, reflecting the human mind's extension of the First Amendment. They are rebellious, and how they break the silence plaguing form in legislature, from the top, all the way down.
Where do you see this movement going? I mean, there's some who say, well, look, the cold weather is coming, it's going to start to snow, it's going to snow in Philly tomorrow, maybe in New York. Where do you see this Occupy movement going?
The snow and the winter is not going to stop the collective anger of tens of millions of Americans who have suffered as a result of the economic policies of corporate America. If you think a little bit of snow or weather, I mean, I think it will only harden people's resolve, frankly. I think everyone is prepared for the long haul, if it is a long haul. I'm hoping for actually a short haul, because when tens of millions of people speak up and get up off the sofa and leave the house and participate in their democracy,